Hi there, this is Michael, and this is Ever Better Mind, where I talk about positive, practical, and punchy strategies to help improve your mental health, ultimately to help you become a better version of yourself. So today I'm recording on a Friday, and it kind of made me think about probably the most important thing that I've done for my mental health in the last year or so. But it's not necessarily a tool or a tactic this time. It's something a little bit different. I might explain. So about a year ago, almost to the day, within a couple of days, it was my birthday, and me and my best mate, we've known each other for 25, 30 years, maybe since school. And my mate took me out for lunch or brekkie. I think it was breakfast actually, for my birthday. Look, we've been friends for a long time, but at that time he was working a lot. He traveled for work, so I saw him intermittently. Maybe a handful of times a year in between kind of travels and trips and things like that. I always made time, but I hadn't seen him too often. And I was having a hard time. I was having a particularly hard time. In fact, a few weeks after that, I'd end up in hospital. But at the time, I was sitting down with him and having a particularly bad day. This was after months and months of kind of depression and feeling pretty rough. And I'm not sure if you guys can resonate, but at least for me, for a long time until that point, when people ask how you going, I'd always say, good, and move on. Not wanting to draw attention to myself, and I guess not knowing what else to say really. But for some reason that day when we kind of sat down, I'd seen my mate, we're having our eggs on toast or whatever, and he kind of said, "How you going?" And I felt like this pivotal moment. There's this moment where I kind of went, "You know what? I'm not okay, and I don't feel like saying okay." So I just said it. I said, "I'm not okay, man. You know, I've been struggling with my mental health. I've had depression for the last year, and yeah, it's been pretty tough. I don't feel great actually." It was a moment of vulnerability, but it did feel like a big decision in that split moment, just to not hide anymore and to not lie. Um, didn't know where it would go. Didn't have any expectations. I just didn't feel like hiding. So I kind of said that, and we had a great conversation. Actually, a really great conversation. He listened, and he'd actually shared some experience with him and his brother. He and his brother quite close. That his brother had some difficulties as well, so he could kind of empathize a lot, perhaps, at least from as a kind of observer about what I was going through his brother's story. And it was really good, and it was good in that moment to just be honest and have an honest chat and not skirt around it. Because I don't know, I guess when you're not being authentic and you're holding something back, people can feel that as well, regardless of what it is. So it was nice to kind of just have a really honest chat with him. So that was really good, but the thing that came out of it, and I think the real benefit really, apart from that feeling of honesty and being able to share and unload just a little bit, was the fact that every time I'd see him then, he'd ask, how are you feeling? And I had permission, I guess, to again be more honest, and it was just a little bit easier to do so that time. But more importantly, and big credit to him, and I'm so grateful. The reason that I kind of thought of this story is that we set up a weekly hike up a mountain just locally, and we have a coffee after. We go every Friday morning before work. We kind of get up pretty early. We're both night owls, so it's definitely a decision to do it. But we get up every Friday and we go up this mountain, see the views, and hike back down and have a coffee, have a chat every single week, every Friday. And it's the best part of my week. I have a lot of things to be grateful for, but that's a big one. Just kind of why I thought of to do it this morning, having just come back from one of those. We've maintained it all year, and I think it started as him being really thoughtful and trying to do something for me, but I think it's become something more where we both really enjoy it. We have a good chat, and I think it's off the basis of being just a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more real with each other. It's an excuse to do it. And, I think every week having something like that to decide to do, to get up early and the mountain's not particularly hard to do, but to get up and hike up that mountain, is a choice, and it's such a positive choice. It's such a positive choice, and I get all the practical benefits of just seeing my friend, even if we're not having a big, deep and meaningful conversation. But here and there, I do get the chance, and I think he does too. We can kind of talk about what's really happening in a way that'd be hard, if we're just talking infrequently. But it's been the one of the biggest things that's impacted me. Just saying how I felt, being okay with not being okay, and telling people about it to kind of share the load a little bit, just a little bit, so that they know, and you can kind of sit in a bit more and not have to hide. And then practically, I guess, seeing my friend regularly, and having that indirect support to kind of lean on has been such a big thing for me. So I guess if someone's asking me what's the takeaway, I guess it's, when you're ready, it can take courage. It will take courage, and certainly some vulnerability. But when someone asks how you're going and you're not okay, be okay with not being okay, and maybe share it with someone that cares for you, and then practically perhaps as well, just based on my experience, I guess, maybe locking something regularly in with someone you can talk about, do something active, maybe make a decision to do something for yourself. And I think maybe even more practically too, locking it in. We there's an expectation of there every Friday, right? I find that not having to decide, and on a bad week or a bad day, I guess, not having to kind of drum up the confidence or the motivation, I guess, to do it. It's just someone's there waiting for me. I better go. I think there's a lot of power in that. So yeah, when you're ready, tell the people you care about, and maybe lock in a walk, maybe lock in a regular coffee, whatever it is. So you've got that thing in your week that's outside of the ordinary. It doesn't take so much willpower. That's it for today. You may not be watching, but happy Friday if it's Friday where you're watching. Otherwise, have a great day.